Have you ever built something you thought was just genius, only to watch it completely flop with actual users? Oh yeah, we've all been there. Today, we're going to crack the code on how to avoid that heartache. We are diving into 4 essential testing methods that get you the real story on how people actually experience your work.
So, you did it. You poured your time, your energy, maybe a little bit of your soul, into building this prototype. It looks amazing, it feels right, but then there's that little voice in the back of your head, right? That nagging question. How do you really know if this is going to work for other people?
Well, to find that answer, we have to get past what's usually the biggest hurdle, and that's ourselves. We've got to move beyond our own assumptions.
Look, every great product, every cool app, it all starts with an idea. But here's the catch. Our ideas are, well, they're ours. They're built on our experiences, our logic, our biases. We just assume we know what the user wants. But let's be real, an assumption, no matter how clever, is not a fact.
And that, right there, is exactly why we test. The goal isn't to prove that we were right all along. It's about finding out the truth.
This quote really nails it. Your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to get as much honest and detailed feedback as you possibly can. We're not talking about the polite, oh, it's nice kind of feedback. We're talking about the real, raw, nitty-gritty truth about what someone is thinking and feeling when they use what you've made.
Ultimately, what we're hunting for is the real user experience. That means getting inside the actual thoughts, feelings, and behaviors of your users. And, more often than not, that reality is going to be wildly different from what we expected it to be.
Okay, so how do we actually capture that real experience? It's not magic, and it's definitely not guesswork. It's about having the right tools for the job. So today, let's add 4 really powerful methods to your feedback gathering toolkit.
We're going to break down 4 key approaches. First, we'll just watch what people do with direct observation. Then, we'll actually talk to them with interviews. After that, we'll compare different ideas with A/B testing. And finally, we'll go global with remote testing.
First up, direct observation. You can think of this as the fly-on-the-wall method. The idea is so simple but so powerful. You just step back, you stay quiet, and you watch. You just see how someone interacts with your creation completely naturally. Now, when you're observing, you're basically a detective. You're looking for clues. Where do their eyebrows furrow in confusion? What makes them smile or breeze right through a task? These little nonverbal hints are pure gold because they are totally unfiltered. The hardest part? Biting your tongue. Your job is to watch, not to jump in and help.
So, observation shows you what people are doing, but to really understand why they're doing it, you've got to talk to them. And that brings us right to our second method, interviews and conversations.
This is the million-dollar question, isn't it? Most people are nice. They don't want to tell you your baby is ugly. So how do you get them to break past that polite barrier and give you the feedback you actually need?
The secret weapon here is the open-ended question. So instead of asking something like, do you like that button, which just gets you a yes or no, you say something like, hey, can you walk me through what you were thinking when you got to this screen? That kind of question unlocks stories, not just simple answers.
All right, let's move on to method number 3, A/B testing. This is where we stop guessing and start getting scientific. This method is an absolute lifesaver when you're stuck between a couple of different options and you want cold, hard data to make the call.
The whole concept is beautifully simple. You make 2 versions of something. Let's say version A has a green button, version B has a blue one. You show A to one group of people, B to another, and then you just measure what happens. Which one got more clicks? Which one did people say felt clearer? The data doesn't lie. It'll point you to a clear winner.
And that brings us to our 4th and final method, which totally leans into the digital world we're all living in. Remote or online testing. This is all about using technology to break down barriers and get feedback on a massive scale.
And the advantages here are huge. You're not just stuck testing with people in your local coffee shop anymore. Using online tools, you can reach this incredibly diverse audience from all over the country or even all over the world. You're going to gather insights from cultures and perspectives you would have completely missed otherwise.
So you've done all this watching and talking and measuring. What's the big payoff? What do these methods really get you in the end?
What happens is a fundamental shift in how you create. You stop building based on, I think this will work, and you start designing based on, my users feel this is what they need. It's a journey from assumption to empathy, from your ego to real evidence.
At the end of the day, the people you are building this for, they hold all the keys to making your project a wild success. They have the answers. So the only real question left is, are you ready to stop guessing and start listening?